huge come from behind win. Both Hannah Schultz and Janelle guys. Boy, ladies, what a come from behind win. I know you never quit playing, but to be honest, Janelle, 10, 11, 12, I'm not sure how much time was left, and you trailed by 17. I mean, what were you thinking?
Well, I was thinking that we needed to pick up the a lot, and we just needed to play our game because in the beginning we weren't playing as we should. We were rushing shots, rushing distance, and I think we just needed to get our focus back together, and it paid off.
Yeah, it sure did. Obviously, a great come from behind win. Hannah, I mean, 16 turnovers in the first half. I would imagine that your coach might have talked about that a bit in the locker room.
Yeah, she did. That was one of the main things she talked about. She talked about putting the ball in our control. That's what we needed to do to get ourselves back into it, and also boards and our defensive plays.
You're playing a team that's won 8 in a row, and they're obviously getting all the breaks in the first half. It seemed like hitting all the shots. At the 10-minute mark or so in the second half, they started to maybe get a little flustered, miss some shots, and you jumped on that. I mean, did you see that too on the court?
Yeah, I did. I saw them, their faces. They were like a little iffy, and we were capitalizing on their turnovers and the shots, and I think that got them really flustered and just frustrated, and we got down on themselves. And I think we just picked it up from there and did what we had to do.
And there was a point, maybe I want to say 3 minutes or so, in that 3 to 4 minute range left, where you're trailing by just 6, and it's staying on that score for a long time. And I said at the time, whoever gets the bucket here is going to have all the momentum. You had a timeout. You guys got a bucket right off that timeout to pull it within 4. First of all, do you remember what I'm talking about? Secondly, do you think that was a big tournament? Okay, you know. Well, you got a quick bucket off the timeout, and you really put the pressure on. I think the more pressure they faced, the more chances they had to maybe get a little flustered.
Yeah, exactly. We just knew that we needed, with the few time that we had left, we knew that we needed to score or it was pretty much over. So we just took it without any fears.
But Janelle, tell me about your strategy in the final minute or so. You're trailing by a point. Obviously, you had, was it you, Henry, fall out?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So, obviously you're trailing by a point and you need a bucket. What was the strategy?
Well, I knew we had to get it inside the Megan, and then see if we could get back out to us. But they couldn't guard her inside, so we just couldn't get it and play defense in the way we know how to.
And Sheely obviously had a put back there to give you the 1-point lead. And then in the final minutes, there was such strategy. You finally tonight run this perfect press break in the final minute to go up 3, or the final few seconds here. And obviously you had a timeout to talk about before that. What was the diagram there? And obviously it led to a Sheely layup.
Well, we just had we knew that they were going to come hard to the ball, so we knew we had to look up the court and just pass and not drill as much.
Well, that's great. Have you been through anything like this, coming down from this much in the second half to win ever?
We had one earlier this season. We were probably we were down by like 15 in the first half, and then it's basically like this. So.
Well, then, does it help to be in that situation?
Yeah, because then I think it gets us more fired up, and we play with more intensity than we normally would if we're just up and posting. So.
Yeah, it was obviously a great win. Now, day off. Now you go to the #1 seed. I think that's the final they did win. So you headed to Concordia. They only lost once in conference. Obviously, you guys have faced them. Hannah, what do you see in that game?
That's who I wanted to play, because the past 3 games we played them have been within 3 points, and so I'm just ready to finally win. So.
Do you feel like this tournament is anyone's for the taking? What you do? I got nods. We're on the radio. You can't do that. Anyway, that's good. That's a good feeling to have, because obviously you guys are still. Congratulations, a thrilling win, and one you'll remember for quite some time.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.